What's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of the best women's boxing show, period. I'm Cynthia Conte.
And I'm Jeandra LeBeauf, and we are back for another Sunday Run It Back. I really love doing these with you. It's a nice little way to check in and catch up and talk about the crazy week in boxing.
Absolutely. I think, because sometimes I'm like, I wish we can do an immediate post-fight reaction like we used to, but
Mm-hmm.
there has been so many things said. I've seen a little bit of the interviews and the post-fight interviews with, if you missed it, there was the undisputed light heavyweight title, Artur Beterbiev versus Dmitry Bivol. And, you know, it was a great fight. It was a really, really good fight. Everyone across the board is saying Bivol won, Beterbiev won, a draw, a robbery. I don't want to call it a robbery because it was such a close fight. I
Mm-hmm.
personally had it a draw and maybe given it to Bivol, but I just gonna say draw because it was that good, and there was no rematch clause, and now they
Oh,
have asked for it. Yeah, they have. The Bivol has asked for it, and Artur Beterbiev, crazy enough, has said an interesting thing about it. I'll tell you after during what he said after the fight, which made it seem like, maybe did he think he lost? I don't know. What did you think? What did you think overall?
very interesting. The fight was a lot closer than I thought it would be. Never that I didn't think anyone would just, I didn't think Beterbiev would blow Bivol out or vice versa, but it was still far closer than I thought it would be. I am also now, after rewatching it, leaning towards a draw and would definitely like to see it again. I
Yeah,
didn't know they didn't have a rematch clause. And I
yeah.
want to think, how should we interpret that? Because I'm guessing that Beterbiev and Turkey are like this because they're both Muslim and they probably, and he has a certain favoritism towards Muslim fighters, and they've all been disappointing him recently, Anthony Joshua, amongst others. So, is this our first example of home cooking on Turkey Allah Sheikh's watch? Number one. Number two,
Can I interject
ooh,
real fast? It's going to
heck
be an
yeah,
interjection because
yeah.
if there were clips and people, of course, Boxing Illuminati was like, this was fixed. But there was a clip at the very end in the ring. Turkey Al Sheikh was telling Dimitri Bivol, I thought you won. I had you
Ooh,
winning
ooh,
by
ooh.
two. So the whole thing, because people were like, well, Beterbiev won because he's Muslim. I think that goes out the window. Archer and
Mm.
Turkey Ala Sheikh, and Turkey's like, I want to see a rematch. If they want it, I'll make it happen. So I'm going to debunk that theory and everyone's theory about it because he said he believed Dmitry Bivol won. You'll find that
I
clip.
love that. Please wake it up, wake it up. Because it's easy to kind of associate things with tribalism. We see it all the time where, like, oh, don't fight here because it's
Yeah.
going to be home cooking. So that's very, very interesting because I was starting to think, does Turkey Al Sheikh have the Drake curse? Because it seems like when he's rooting for someone too hard, with the exception of Crawford's the only one who, can pull out the victory. So that's very, very interesting. And it's interesting also that they had no rematch clause.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's weird because for an undisputed, but I think maybe because Beterbiev is 40, he's going to be 40,
Yeah.
and because you think about it, Fury, and Usyk had rematch clause. That's why we're getting the rematches. But I think I'm not sure. I think Beterbiev was. I don't know if he's gonna. I'm not gonna say he's leaving boxing because I really don't know. Maybe they might move up. I don't know the whole story, but when they asked for it in the post-fight press conference, they said, I believe, of course, Eddie Hearn was like really pissed off. Like, I get it. I get it.
Absolutely.
And I totally understand that he has every right to be upset. And, there's other things, my boyfriend, Dimitri said this, girl, I didn't even realize this. So Dimitri said at the end of the fight, before they read the scorecards, there was a shot of them panning into the ring, and Beterbiev was hugging someone, and he was like smiling, and Dimitri was there. Obviously, he speaks Russian, and because my
Hmm.
boyfriend's Russian, and they said it looks like they told Beterbiev he won before it was announced.
Mm.
I was like, no, he just looks happy. I think it's at his dad. I don't know. Like he just looked really happy because they were trying to get this guy in the ring. Then all of a sudden, of course, boxing Twitter, they're like, there was someone saying that it's allegedly someone from DAZN or something in DAZN, some people on DAZN said it. I'm not sure if it was a broadcaster. Like I said, I don't know that they told Beterbiev and his team that he won prior to the announcement. Take that as you will. I'm not saying it
Mm,
happened, but for Dimitri
mm.
to say that to me, and then all of a sudden I'm reading that, there's so many weird things that have happened with this fight.
Shout out
But
to my Rutsky speaking
I
brother-in-law. Shout out
know.
to him. Zdravstvuйте меня зовут
You
Jeandra.
know, it was so interesting though, because you think about it, you have two Russians. Yes, they are Russian. Someone's like, oh, he's Canadian. Yes, we know
Doesn't matter,
Beterbiev is Canadian. He was born in Russia, and so is Dmitry Bivol. And for this fight to actually happen, because we all know WBC was not sanctioning this fight at the very beginning because of this whole
right?
war thing shouldn't have gone political. Just saying. But I'm happy that it happened. Now I want to uh before I get to the odds, because I'm a betting girl. I do my Sins
Hmm.
picks. The betting odds on it for Dmitry Bivol was minus 130. That was the money line. So the money line is you're either going to pick who wins. It's this person or this person. And the take back with the underdog was Beterbiev. I knew for some reason Beterbiev was not going to knock him out. I did not want the knockout because I just didn't. I predicted on my video that Dmitry Bivol, it was plus 120 that would go the decision. I think 98% of boxing thought that.
Hmm.
A unanimous decision. I said Dmitry Bivol majority decision, but I deleted the majority decision because I'm like, oh, I don't know. The Beterbiev won a majority decision, but it was I mean a draw, by the way, was plus 1600. So that was
Mm,
let's just yeah, I mean, I had some money. I had
man.
money spread everywhere. I did win because i like
Woohoo!
I like the odds
Money.
of when you never know. You always bet on a draw because you never know if it hits, and it almost was a draw.
It
Like
was close. It
it
was
was
close.
it was
You know,
close.
I looked at how I would have been totally fine with the draw because I felt like Beterbiev fought in spurts.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are trying to get the win, you can't fight in spurts. There was a whole center section of the fight where Bevo was giving him the blue. And then we get to the final 9, 10, or 10, 11, 12 around. Then Beterbiev turns it back up. I was surprised. I thought he was gassing out because he
Yeah.
said he is up there, but he
Yeah.
came back with some vengeance. It was a fascinating fight. I definitely want to see that one again. That was
There
great.
was a lot of people are saying, and Dan Canobio tweeted this out the other last night, and I have to agree with him. They always say, okay, these are the championship rounds. You have
Mhm.
11 and 12, so that's when you have to really put it on. I go, no, yes, but rounds 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
They
8, 9, 10
all matter.
are it's round by round. That's how they're judged. It's not like who did better in the last two rounds of the fight. It's not judged like that. And I think a lot of casuals think that it's like when they say championships round, it's like that's all that matters. It's
You
it's
get 2 for 1 instead of
yeah,
10
right.
through 12. You get
Uh,
4 points instead of 8
yeah.
or 16 points instead of,
Yeah.
you know what
And
I'm
it's
talking
it's
about.
it's very strange because when you look at the rounds, well, I'm gonna pull it up. It was on the scorecard because that 116, 112 was the worst card. It basically
Yeah,
said they didn't give anything to Beeble. Like what fight are you watching? 115, 113. But
I
I
lived with
agree.
that.
Yeah, one
Hmm.
and 114, 114. And I'm thinking, what is this? It was rounds uh 4 and 7. All the judges voted differently on that. And rounds
Mm.
4, they gave it to B. Wait, one gave it to, was it 4? I can't, is it 6? Shit, I don't remember what. I think it's, yeah, I can't remember which round it was. Beeble won that round, but all the judges gave it to Beterbiev. I'm like, I don't know. I'm not saying there's no home cooking. I'm not, I don't know, but it just the one judge, Powell Cardini, he's from Poland, from what I know.
Hmm.
And he's the one with the 116, 112. So he only gave Dmitry Bivol's round 1 and 2, 8 and 9.
Eddie wasn't into it. This is the judge that Eddie wishes to be banned.
I mean, there's a lot of judges that need to be banned.
Yeah, there's a far some more egregious than this one, even if we disagree. But yeah, I this that 116, 112 card blew me away for such a close competitive card. I would have been, no knockdowns, no points taken away, no
Right?
nothing. No nothing. 116 to 112 was a little over the top
Yeah,
to
I remember.
me. I'm not gonna scream robbery though.
Yeah, I'm not going to scream it because it wasn't lopsided. That's a
Right.
thing. If I saw 118, then I'd be screaming robbery.
Absolutely.
119, I feel like, come on, you may as well just give it all the belts to Beterbiev.
You're
That's
watching
what's
the
going to
fight like
happen,
this.
right?
Good fight.
Oh, good. Oh, good
What a
fight.
great fight.
Oh, but it's I just so in the I want to read so people who didn't get to hear the post fight press conference, and I usually delete them, but I was like, So Beterbiev's quote in the ring when Chris Mannix asked him, Beterbiev said, "I feel not bad. I did not good today. I wanted to box today with more quality, I don't know why, but I didn't like this fight, but I'll be better one day." Of course, it's a tough fight because Dimitri is a world champion too. He has good skills, maybe better than me. But
I
today, Allah
remember.
chose me. During the fight, we always try to change something, but maybe I just wanted to punch him. Maybe that's why I'm not delivering more punches. I don't know. If
Mhm.
His Excellency wants it a rematch, then we can do it. I mean, it's like these two they're Russian fighters. They have no bad blood the whole time. Everyone's like, what do you have against him? I'm like, dude, don't try to stir up something. They're Russian fighters. They just want it's their job. That's
It's
what
just
they've
a
been doing.
fight.
It's just a
It's
fight to
just a
them.
fight.
It's their livelihood. So then
Mhm.
Beebles, I'm a warrior. I have to do everything perfect. And I don't have any explanation because it could look like an excuse. I just want to congratulate Archer and his team. He deserves it, no problem. I don't know. I just did my job. I felt that I could have done better. I always could be better. It's just the opinions of the judges. Congratulations, Archer. He won. What can I say? And Marcos from Fight Hub, he did an interview, and I didn't get to watch it all, but I saw little clips of it. And Beeble said that yes, of course, he can work on more countering and maybe depending on the judges of what they were looking for, effective aggression or more countering. And more of the countering, he was on the sides on doing his angles, and it might not look effective and like aggressive, but he was still countering. So
Mhm.
we don't know what these judges were looking for. Clearly, no one knows. And I believe I fully, wholeheartedly need these judges to be accountable because these are people's lives at stake. It's not like they just box for a hobby. And so this Pavwan, whatever his name is, needs to be sat down. Like, tell me, what did you see and how did you score this round for so and so when he's doing all the work? I don't know. I mean,
Are we ready for the shift now? Because there's so many instances of this, of bad officiating. In every other sports bastion, there is an oversight and meetings and training and development. And every time a new season of whatever sport, they talk about what the new rules are for the upcoming season. I think, can we get maybe Turkey's real purpose in boxing is to help with that as well. With
girl, Turkey's looking out. He's taking over.
He got everybody coming over there.
So there
Okay.
is word that he is allegedly buying Ring magazine.
I had heard that. I
And
had heard that.
I've gotten clarification. It is very true.
Mm.
I don't know if Ring will I don't know unless he's like, oh, that Ring girl, I don't think I'll hire her. She was like,
We'll
no, you
take
can
everybody but her and
no, you
Jake,
can
and
hire me.
not
Come
Jake,
on.
and not Jake either.
No, I still would love to work for Ring. I would love it. But I don't know. But I think that when there were I saw the interviews with Charlie Parsons from the Stomping Ground right after post fight reaction. He's like, I didn't like it. I believe Bivol won. I had it 8-4, and but he knows that boxing is crooked. That's why he wants to help change the landscape. He really wants to. And as many people that say no, we don't want it, it's clearly not getting any better with
Yeah.
when there's no money. So if this
If he
man's
want
gonna,
to do it, hey.
you know what? Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I think that's the takeaway of that is, just even the post-fight presser, it was sad, but Archer is willingly looking to do another fight with him. Dmitry Bivol said in the Fight Hub that whoever's puncher, the punch, Canelo's punch is harder than Beterbiev's. I was like,
Wow.
oh yeah, and Canelo in that clip that I dropped on our shorts on YouTube, they asked if Bivol loses, would you fight Beterbiev? No answer. It's like,
I'm gonna see, and hopefully I can edit it in at this point. I'm gonna see if I can edit a picture of Bevol's face after the Canelo fight and Bevol's face after this fight because he was looking toe up. Face was looking
right,
toe up in the press
right.
conference. So I'm gonna have to find a little, you know,
Yeah, I
little
think
side by side.
I would love to see them run it back. I've never seen Bivol fight the way he did. Usually when, I'm watching the fight, you're thinking he's going to just box from the outside, do not go toe to toe. He was going toe to toe with him at points.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, he can take Beterbiev. I mean, he did get countered and he got rocked at that. I forgot which round it was when he was winning for the 2 rounds. I think it was maybe the sixth. I don't remember. And then I have to rewatch it. And then Bivol got him Beterbiev got him in the last minute, and that's when maybe the judges saw that because they always say it's
I
how you close the round.
absolutely.
But I
I
don't. I
think they were
mean,
starting to fall in love with that. I think in those last rounds when Beterbiev was really walking him down and starting to close off the ring, even I mean, a lot of his punches were effective. I'm not
yeah,
going
they
to
were.
take
Yeah,
that away, but I think that really was people are very visual, and
yep.
that's what they wanted to see. I got to look at who these judges are. The Polish judge clearly loved it, and so now we know. Take note if you're going to fight someone and the judge is Polish, they want you to cut the ring off and trap in the corner. There might be something to this. I remember long ago watching a video about the different styles of ring official or ring referees, how East Coast referees are more hands off and more in the background of watching the fight from a distance and giving instructions more from a distance, like Steve Smoger and all those old school referees, versus West Coast referees like to be all up in the mid,
Yeah.
touching you, splitting you apart. So fighters take note. Polish referees cut the ring off. Effective aggression is more
Mhm.
telling in landing punches in the last round. So
Yeah.
Poland in
I don't know.
particular.
Poland in particular. I think, and now, since there was no rematch because Turki Al-Sheikh did say this, and this is why I dropped another clip because people were going off. David Benavidez always wants to get, y'all, Turki Al-Sheikh was the one that said David gets the winner of Beterbiev Bivol. Now, since Benavidez is fighting Morrell, which is an excellent fight, like that's a
Another one
mouth-watering
fans
fight.
have
Woo!
been calling for. Yes.
Yeah. So whoever wins that will possibly get the winner of Archer Beterbiev and Bivol, depending if the rematch goes through. But I think you know what? It's not happening in America, so it's gonna go happen in Saudi. It's not happening in Russia. I'm like, why not? Um, I think it's
If you're Turkey Conti, what would you rather see? Would you
I would
rather see David Morrell, winner of that, gets them, or the rematch next?
wait. Do you want? Did you say that again one more time?
Would you rather see Beterbiev fight the winner of Morrell versus Benavidez next, or would you rather see him rematch Bivol next?
Rematch Bivol, because it was it, it, it was it wasn't the problem was is that when a fight of this magnitude and everyone's talking about the score and not the fight, and
Right.
that's when it should be like there should be an immediate rematch, and both fighters are saying okay, as opposed to no, you're not getting a
Mm-hmm.
rematch, like, because these are true warriors. Because even when I don't know if you heard it. I mean, a lot of people heard it, but when your coach is telling you you need to get a knockout to
Mm-hmm.
Beterbiev, that's because you're either it's a really, really close fight or he knows you're losing.
Mhm.
Those are the only two
Mhm.
options. It's not, if you know you're winning, then you play it safe. But Beterbiev doesn't know how to play it safe. That motherfucker is just plowing you down, just like, like even he like stands
Exactly.
straight. It's like I feel like I was watching a bear, a
Let
bear.
us take note. Immediate rematch, please. We can learn from Kovalev Ward,
Mm-hmm.
controversial.
Mm-hmm.
Floyd Maidana, they went right back into the rematch. Pacquiao Marquez,
Mm-hmm.
Bradley Pacquiao.
Yeah.
Don't dilly dally. Don't let it marinate. None of those crazy things. I too am on your side. I'd rather see the rematch first because we just don't know what this Benavidez fight is going to look like. Because what if that's a stinker? Might
Yeah,
as well strike while the iron's hot.
because it's weird because when David Benavidez, who did he fight when he went up in weight? No one expected him go the
Mm,
distance. I bet on the distance. I forgot who I was sitting by. I was like, I was just sitting there. I'm like, let me just bet. I'll just put the distance. I don't know. He might knock him out. No one believed David was going to go that long, and he didn't look that great. And maybe
mm.
because it was his very first fight at that weight, but David Morrell he's a tough cookie. Like
That's a great
he
fight.
likes to throw punches and bunches, and so does David. So I think both of them at this weight class. We'll see, but I think the way Beterbiev and the way Bivol, it's just they're tailor made for each other. They need to close that chapter, that saga
Absolutely.
before they move on, because if not, everyone loses. Boxing loses. It's always going to be that. Well, what if he really won? Oh no, it was really a draw. No, he won, and you don't want that. And they have pride. They're men of pride, and just be like, let's go fight again. I'm ready to go.
Hey, well, we know who definitely wants to see that again, other than, or who thought better be won that fight other than the three judges. Bevo's wife.
Wow.
Bevo's wife has, oh, wow.
I
Wow,
mean,
whole
it's
video of her
messy.
talking to the screen. I love it.
I
I
mean,
love a little drama.
whether it's true or not, and I'm sad if it is true. I'm not going to even repeat what allegedly happened because they have to go to court. But wow, I
Russians, I feel like Russians don't have drama like that. So this very more private, more reserved people as a whole, from my experience. I was surprised putting all the tea on the
well, I mean,
vine like that.
allegedly, it's allegedly, like I said, because like it was money and
Mm,
the kids, and that's the hard part. It's the kids that
mhm.
were involved in the videos that you see of that she posted. It's so sad, like of what happened to her allegedly, and a lot of the things. And it's just kind of like, ah, man, it's hard when kids are involved and
Yeah,
money and you're in the public eye like that. So
yeah,
it's
very
tough,
messy.
but yeah, it's very, very messy. I know that I text you, but did you watch the ESPN feed at all? Because apparently Tim Bradley was not giving Beeble any credit. Like,
No, and I was watching the DAZN feed, and the DAZN feed wasn't giving Better Be of any credit.
yeah,
Like well, wow, wow. I now
yeah,
see. Okay, well, when I do my full rewatch of it, I'm going to watch the
yeah.
ESPN feed because wow.
I was, yeah, because when I'm reading Twitter, they're like, "What fight is Tim Bradley watching? Do they not see Beeble is boxing?" And I'm thinking, "Oh, okay. Well, I'm on the DAZN feed, and I know some of the commentators they didn't give Beterbiev of anything. I mean, they are like, "Oh, he's strong," but he Beeble is countering back. But I just, I was just flabbergasted. I kept thinking this is a very, very, very tough fight because
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know how to look at it. But I mean, we call for a rematch, and it's always going to be talked about. And I'm just hoping that they'll get this done before. But I really want to know what Canelo thought. He was in Japan, and
Mm.
yeah, maybe he's probably thinking, maybe I'll come
Money,
get that
money, money,
Beterbiev.
money. Hey, they
Yeah,
need some Viva Mexico cabrones, and I'm trying to make some
yeah.
money
But
for
imagine
sure.
that would be that would have to be a Saudi fight, and we all know Canelo does not kiss the ring.
No, he doesn't kiss the ring, but imagine if he upsets the apple cart and he gets in the ear of Beterbiev and Bivol and they disrupt the whole thing. And now Canelo's doing a fight in Mexico City with Beterbiev. You just never know. You just never know.
You never know. Hey, boxing is already
Riyadh
wild.
season, Mexico City. Wow.
Who knows?
Riachis en la Ciudad de Mexico.
Yeah,
Wow.
I don't know, but yeah, you guys tell us what you think. Who did you win? Did you guys see it a draw? Did you see it as a robbery? Which Jeandra and I don't call it a robbery. But we want to hear in the comments below. Let us know because we're very, very interested in what you guys have to say. You know who else
Always,
was
always.
watching? I know
Who?
that Sean Porter had an 8-4. Terrence Crawford.
Mm.
I don't think he said who it had, but there are a lot of people I saw. And Berlanga, you are not knocking out Beterbiev. Stop it.
Please just read the tweet. I think we need to tweet. We're going to insert it here. What? Please give us the
Wait,
Berlanga.
I sent it to you.
Yes. But I need you to read it aloud so people
Oh,
can really
I'm
feel
going, okay, I'm
how
going to read
asinine
it.
this sounds.
Okay, so this is what Berlanga tweeted. I would stand toe to toe with Arthur. It's Arthur. No, Archer. I would stand toe to toe with Archer and knock him out. No IQ, no head movement.
That's all I have to say about that. Is all right now. All okay. We doing too much now. We doing too much. It
I
just
swear.
spend that Canelo a golden ticket that you punched. Be good with your money because I don't know what you're gonna do after this, Berlanga.
I yeah, oh my God. You don't you don't see any other fighters saying I can knock Archer Beterbiev. I did not see one fighter, a heavyweight, nobody say I can beat him.
He's turning
Berlanga's
into Teofimo.
I'm surprised Theofimo didn't say anything.
Okay, I'm gonna go up to what do they fight at? 172. I'm going up to 175, 172, 175, 175, and I'm gonna fight. Have a seat, bro. Relax, 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 relax.
Yeah.
So, as we turn the topic now, speaking of people and Turkey al Sheikh's influence and people who need to fight, who is fighting Terrence Bud Crawford next?
You don't
Every
know.
time we think we have it, what the hell?
I
We
don't think
watched this.
Terrence knows either.
He don't either. Right now, he's fighting Twitter because, like, there's a lot of interest, but what is makes the most business sense for him because he too is approaching 40 quickly.
Mhm.
Not to say that he's, washed. We know he's not washed,
Yeah.
but it is a thing. And sports are young man's game. So what does he do now to take him to the next financial to establish him for the rest of his life? I know if you ask him, he'll be like, I'm already established for the rest of my life, but
Yeah.
you can never be too thin and never have too much money. So he
There
has
you
to fight
go.
somebody next. He all this week we've been seeing him go back and forth with Teofimo Lopez. I'm not going to give Teofimo a lot of gas about all of the repugnant things he has been saying. Not feeling that. But
Yep.
what I do want to spend some time talking about, it's very interesting in how this is playing out with this Conor McGregor alleged 2-fight deal offer, the WBO stepping in and that getting disrupted. So let's start with the WBO first. Crawford steps aside so that the floodgates of Fundora and Spence open up. You got the good interview with Fundora on that. So what do you think about that path of a fight?
So based on the interview, check it out on our YouTube, Best Women's Boxing Show YouTube. It was Sebastian Fundora. If not, you can go on our Twitter. It's still pinned at the top because it's so good. When I asked him about Crawford, he said, I was never that hurt that he could have entertained a fight with him. And then when I asked about Spence, so the fight with Spence is off, he's like, no, it's not. And I'm thinking, oh, I thought maybe Spence retired. So that was back on the table. But the WBO actually doing their job, they're saying if you're going to fight a voluntary fight, since Terrence Crawford and Fundora's team, they both agree that they can do a voluntary fight and then they can come back to fight for the belt, has to be top 10, 15. Top 10 and 15. Errol Spence is not in the WBA ranking or WBO rankings. So that pulls him off. Now, if Fundora decides to fight Spence, he will be stripped. So the belt will be vacant. So then there's really no point of Fundora and Crawford fighting if the belt goes vacant. They may as well just give it to freaking Crawford.
Right.
So,
Right.
and I don't I don't know what Spence looks like as a fighter right now. And no one really, and even Tim Tszyu said, yeah, I'd love to fight him. I think we're fighters. He still has it in him. But at what point does your body maybe telling you, your mind is telling you something, your heart is telling you something,
Your children, your
your
family is
children,
telling you
yeah.
something.
And after the way he got beat by Crawford,
Ugh.
that's
And the
it.
2 car accident. Has anyone seen, I have not seen a recent picture of Spence? You make a fascinating point because we know Spence can blow up. He can
I
get
did.
big real quick.
I don't know if it was, I saw a picture, but I'm not sure of how current it was. He's gained some weight. I mean, he's not fat, but he's just he's nowhere near fighting weight. But that's totally normal of Spence. Uh, I don't know. And so I just, like everyone kept saying, the fight with Fundora versus Spence is the fight to be made because that makes the most business sense. And Leonard Ellerby had told me that during the Fundora Zoo fight week. And I'm thinking, how does that make sense? Like Spence needs to just go, like I said, go be off on your ranch and do whatever. But hey, I don't know. And
So bringing it back to Bud too, do we think so? Is it done now with Bud and Canelo too? Is that done?
I,
Is it
I
finished?
don't,
Can we bring it back?
I think it's a never say never because
Mm-hmm.
um I
Does Canelo need a fight too?
Canelo needs a fight, but
Does he need a fight? Does
no,
he?
no, he doesn't need a fight. Canelo will they quote unquote cherry pick. He will pick his opponent.
Yeah.
And if this is going to be hypothetically his last fight, it's not going to be Crawford.
Mm-hmm.
It would be he would honestly he would try to fight Beevil again. I personally think that. I think that's like, you know
Mm-hmm.
what? My last
Mm-hmm.
standing is my rematch. And if I go out, I go out against a guy that is skilled, but he's a boxer, a purist, and
Then
yeah.
he better kiss the ring because he better Turkey getting involved is the only way he makes that I'm riding off into the sunset money. There's no I'm sorry, Vegas. I love Vegas for fights, but for what Canelo is probably gonna ask for,
It's probably gonna be 200 plus now. Remember?
exactly. Because there won't be
Remember.
no Viva Mexico Cabrones on that because they dry out there. Won't be no liquor sponsor, none of that extra stuff. So I don't know. And as far as Crawford goes, I wonder who he really, in theory, wants to fight. He won't publicly tell like people like us.
Yeah.
I would rather this, but when he's alone in his thoughts, I'm very curious to what he thinks because he is a competitive person. He loves a variety of sports. We know he likes to compete at everything. He probably competes to who can pee the fastest. But what does he really want? Because if he does this Conor McGregor thing, they do it over there in Saudi, a 2 fight deal. We've seen Conor McGregor over there sitting with Nadal and Turkey, and
Yeah.
all of them have been there. We've seen it. The relationship is there. So it could happen. He posted a video on his social media this past week of him working on the mat. We know he can wrestle. Look at his kids. His
Did
kids
you
is killers.
Did you hear what he said though? He said, "Nah, dude, I'm not gonna fight you," to Connor, because Connor's like, we can make so like record-breaking money. He's like, I'm not
Mm-hmm.
getting in an octagon with you to get elbowed, kneed, and kicked in the face and every parts of my elbow, like my body. He's like, I'm only gonna stick to a boxing ring. So
Mm. Maybe he
that's
might
out
get
the
his
door.
wish. Maybe they do it a true boxing thing, and
I mean,
I don't
well,
know. I don't
I
know.
mean, based on that, Connor has been partying. I see him doing a dance off with the schmo at BKFC Marbella, Spain. Good for
Wow.
him. I
Good
don't know.
for
I
him.
think I think the only other fight that would make money, and I hate to say it, is Teofimo.
Yeah, I agree. I
The
agree. And
only
I think
fight
they
that would
know
make
they might
money.
be planting the seeds already for the Teofimo fight. All of a sudden, I mean, they've always been talking shit since they were over
Yeah,
at
but
Top
no, but
Rank.
this
So
one was like bad. Like this
yeah.
time and I thought like maybe Teofimo would just be like, like I'm sorry, but he kind of like doubled down, tripled down in other interviews. He's like, yeah, he knew what I said. I'm like, when
He
what
shouldn't.
it is what it is. Cameron and Mace are talking about it and talking shit about it straight to Teofimo's face while he was in the studio, and
Sure was.
he's like, tell me.
See, and that's the thing I can't get with. You know, I'm also obviously opposed to all forms of racism and prejudice. I'm opposed to all of them. However, I'm going to respect the person more that stands on business and tells me straight up, I'm not messing with you because
Yeah.
don't
Mm-hmm.
talk your mess. And then when somebody pulls your card, fold
Mm-hmm.
up and be like, I was just playing. We just talking mess. That's what the children today are calling gaslight. So that's what the
Oh
gaslighting
yeah.
is what the
Oh
kids
yeah.
are saying is I feel gaslit. That in effect is gaslighting. If you're gonna talk your shit,
Talk your
feel you can
shit.
do it here on talk your shit and stand 10 toes down
Right?
on the shit you
Right.
talking. So that's what I
Yeah.
don't like. Talk your shit and stand on that shit. Like them ghetto ass MMA fighters who are always with their white nationalist stuff. Hey, at least they standing on business. You know what time it is when
Yeah.
you see them. They're not messing with you. So hey,
You know what I think that would make a lot of money, but
mm,
there's no, if you beat him, like I said, it's low risk, no
mm.
Bud, I mean Boots.
Boots. And it's Boots is always there. It's always been the discussion. Great fight, 147. Crawford would have to go down to 140. No, Crawford ain't went down to nothing because he the A side. Boots would
Boots
probably,
will
well, you
go
know
up.
what? He could go up, but we talking about Terrence Crawford. Crawford might tell you, fuck it, I'm gonna do 147 because I can still make
Yeah.
147 easily. You just never know with him. When I caught up with Kevin Hart at the Borderlands premiere, Mr. Kevin Hart is Mr. All Things Philly, beat, bleed, Philly, everything. He sure wasn't picking Boots over Crawford. I noticed that. He ain't crazy. Well, excuse me. I say that respectfully. Respectfully. He said that he wanted Boots to have two more fights before he could get in the ring with Crawford. So that just, that Philly tribalism is hard to break. So I don't know. I will never forgive Top Rank though for never making the Crawford versus Pacquiao fight. That's a fight I just always felt like that was the one that got away. It's sad. Boots, thoughts on a Crawford Boots fight if it could really happen because they both need somebody, or you know, we love Manny Pacquiao, the one that got away. Why Crawford and Pacquiao never happened.
Yeah. Was there ever anything ever said, or did Bob Arum say, or did Crawford ever say why it was never made?
I think Crawford always felt like Manny was being protected, of course, because Manny was always going to be the top of
Yeah.
the list over on the top ranked side. But if I remember correctly, and viewers correct me if I'm wrong, and I don't think I'm wrong, but correct me if I am. During their time when it was Crawford, Pacquiao, and Jose Benavidez Jr. were
Hmm.
all over at top rank, the kind of the pecking order was changing. Tim Bradley was going off into retirement. Manny was still the top of the heap. Crawford wanted the fight during his first deal with Top Rank. They didn't give him the Pacquiao fight. He was very upset. He wasn't going to renew his deal, but ultimately did renew his deal. But it seemed like in the pushing of fighters, they were pushing Jose Benavidez Jr. ahead of him because he was like the next up
Yeah.
as he was fighting and looking like a badass. And I feel like I remember Crawford feeling slighted by that, and that's how they ended up fighting, beat Jose Jr.'s ass, and it was like they always kind of dangled the Pacquiao fight ahead of him, but then Pacquiao
Never
left
got
and went
it.
to PBC and started doing the
Uh,
PBC thing.
I'll never forget when I was first started covering boxing. It was a Lomachenko fight, and
Mm.
he was fighting Rigondeaux, and I had some scrum that I posted on my personal channel like years and years and years ago, and it was of Crawford, and I happened to be right in front of Crawford and Arum, and I'm just like just videoing it, and someone asked about like the big fights, and and Arum's like, yeah, we're getting the big fights, and you just see Crawford like
Please bring it back. Let's
I
bring it
I
back.
and I just, I never knew the whole history because I was so new into boxing that I only saw what on the outside. But now, like thinking about it, I'm gonna have to find that clip and just like you could see the body language of Terrence Crawford. He's just, he's usually chill, but he's just like, and he just
The,
let Aram do all the talking, like
mhm.
all of it.
They had a very interesting history. I think that they respect each other.
Yeah.
I know very well that Bob thinks that Crawford is a phenomenal talent. I
Mm-hmm.
have no doubt about that. I think that Crawford, as a businessman, respects Bob Aaron's legacy and history in the
Mm-hmm.
sport, but they just could not. He was not getting between that Bob Pacquiao love sandwich. He was not getting in between that, and Pacquiao was already later into his career. He wasn't going to let Pacquiao go out like that. But then what ended up happening?
He did.
Marquez slept him, and then I don't know. I got love. I'm not talking shit about Manny Pacquiao because I love Manny Pacquiao.
I
We're
know.
not supposed to have our fandoms, but I love Manny Pacquiao. I've always been a huge fan of his career. So, and I'm a huge fan of Crawford, and I hated that they never got to fight. There's
What
that.
if they say Pacquiao?
Oh, I feel so sad.
I
So
say
sad.
no. I still have to
G-
drop that video.
he would absolutely should say no. Jinky gonna freak out. Mama Pacquiao gonna be putting roots on people. No,
A turkey on the shake should be saying no.
that's a waste of money. That's a waste of money. I'm
Right?
sorry.
But you know what? All the
Mm-mm.
Filipinos work in like Dubai, Saudi, or like on that
Mm-hmm.
side of the world. All the Philippines would go just because it's Manny. It,
Mabuhay.
yeah, I mean, I would watch it. I would cringe because I would be like, please. And I think
Yeah.
maybe, I don't think Crawford would try to knock him out. I think personally, I would just think he's going to just outbox him
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
he's faster than Pacquiao. I mean, because age, I mean, Pacquiao is older. And I
Yeah.
still have to drop that. I still have that scrum about his son. Just be like, no, I don't want my dad to fight anymore.
Yeah. Please. Please. If his name comes back up in the mix, let's
I'm
just
putting
pull out all the old receipts like, no, no, no.
you.
No, no,
No,
no.
you and your family said no, no, no.
Mm-hmm. But
Oh,
Pacquiao family, I'm not being disrespectful. I got a lot of love for
yeah.
you. Invite me over for some content, Cynthia, and the content. And somebody's debut. Somebody in the family
That'd be
is
tough.
having like a debut sometime soon. So just invite. I was in a debut.
No way. You were?
Sure, girl, I gotta put me in the Filipino.
Oh my
Just
God.
the only little raisin in the bowl of cornflakes. Just look at black with the girl. I told you my Filipino love goes deep. Go deep. Me, my mom, and my aunt was here from Louisiana. So my aunt, my mom, because my mom and my friends, they were real cool, super cool with their family. So it's our three black asses and all of the Philippines. I have
Yeah.
all.
Well, your
I
mom was a
love
nurse, right? So
there you go. There you go. So just on that alone, we was gonna be down with the Filipinos. So
it's so weird when they say the world's a shortage, there's a shortage of nurses in the world. I'm like, dude, just go to the Philippines.
go to the
Like,
Philippines. What you mean? What you mean? Shoot, my Filipino friend family owns a nursing company where they dispatch nurses out. Like,
damn,
if you need a referral, holler at me. Slip in the DMs. I can have you a referral if your family need like a nurse caregiver type thing. Let me know. I will let you know.
Oh my God, Jay. That was so funny. All right. Well, back to topic. Okay, so this was a great run it back. The Bevo. This was it was such a good weekend of fights. Unfortunately, I didn't get to watch the Japanese fights in Japan, the top ranked ones, and there's one tonight. Um,
Oh.
yeah, there was Inoue's brother fought last night. So crazy enough, it was Inoue and Junto Nakatani. It was more of like, I don't know, Inoue was there and Canelo was there because
Mm.
Reynoso's fighter was on the card and he lost. So
Mm.
the Japanese fighter won. But yeah, you guys, everyone was like saying, oh, they're going to do a card together. And people there during a scrum, I remember specifically, I was standing in front of him and someone asked, where else are you would love to fight in Japan? So everyone ran with it that he's fighting in Japan next. Y'all, he said he wants to fight in Japan. Like, does it mean
Right.
he's going? That's his next fight. I would love that at Tokyo Dome, but why
That'd
not?
be fine. He might, hey, You never know with Canelo. Viva Mexico Campeón.
I know, I know. But yeah, so you guys, let me get back on my little thing. Oh yeah. So this was our run it back for our Beterbiev versus Bivol. Remember, shoot us a comment down below. Let us know what round you had them in. What was your score? If
Mm-hmm.
you guys don't know, it was 114, 114, 115, 113 for but it was a majority decision and 116, 112. So they really
Crazy
didn't give
talk.
Beeble anything. Yeah. I'm gonna rewatch it again. Um, I'm gonna rewatch the ESPN one. I want to see what Tim Bradley be saying.
Mm-hmm.
At least Bernardo was there to like rein it
Shout
in
out to
again.
Bernardo. Shout out to Bernardo. Tim is off the chain, so shout out to him.
All right, so you guys make sure you subscribe to all of our YouTube, Best Women's Boxing Show, period. Our socials, our TikTok, name it, we have it. Everything.
And make and let us know what kind of content that you will be seeing. We are going to continue our coverage. We're going to continue our run it back. We've got our new reporter, Rebecca
The
Ruber
Bahi.
Sabahi, who is in New York, and we may have somebody else coming on board
Yeah.
pretty soon. You'll have to just keep watching, and it's a woman.
As a
Ha
woman,
ha.
yeah. Oh, real fast. So when you say about content, I started doing, and you'll see in the Tim Zoo, and I did it with the last person with who was it that I said cut it out with the dancing. Oh yeah, Michaela Mayer. So we always have our little segments, and now I've been doing this one segment of what fight if you were able to attend a fight, past or present, ringside, what would it be? Regis,
Mm,
the answer is Regis gave, Caleb gave, some of the fighters that gave, they were like, or Tim, they're just like, whoa, thrown off. And then my other
great
one,
question.
yeah,
Great
I was
question.
very proud of myself. And I'm like, you know what?
I'm proud
Because
of you too.
everyone asked the same questions of like, name your favorite fighter. And I was like, you know what? Let me kind of think a little outside the box, but still a little box. And then the other one was if you can invite three people to dinner, past or present, dead or alive, anyone in the world who would be. Tim Zoo was like, crazy enough. I'm not gonna say all of them. Like one of them was Vladimir Putin. He's Russian, so he can say that.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say something like completely crazy, like
Oh.
Megan the Stallion or some shit
No,
like that.
no, but some of them are really good, and Regis's is so good, and so yeah, all that content will be dropping. There's a lot of content dropping all of this week and next week. A
And
lot.
we'll have to name it. We'll have to name your segment. We've got our swag cam. We've got so now we have these two excellent new segments. So we will have to
Let's
name
see.
them. And we
Let's
have your betting
see.
segment.
Yeah, let's see. For the dinner one, if you guys have any ideas, what
Drop
would
them
you
below.
want? Yeah, and if anyone was steals, it's not, I didn't steal it from anyone, but I mean, if someone in boxing starts using it, then clearly we know where they got
Right.
it.
Exactly.
Because I don't
But
say
we are
build your
going to
perfect
name it and
fighter.
package it. We're going to name it. We're going to package it, and you'll be able to find Cynthia's conversations with these
Hmm.
folks. And I think those are dope questions. I love it.
Thank you. Yeah, you'll really enjoy it. Watch them on the Video Manager YouTube. They're actually really, really good. Regis's are really good. And Caleb's, I have to edit Caleb's, but they're really well thought out. And then we'll be talking and they're like, oh wait, can I invite this person? Oh wait, can I be ringside for this? I'm like, yeah, it's you could.
That's
And
awesome.
it's a really, yeah, I really got them thinking. But Jeandra, this was fun. I love
Yes,
it.
it was. I do too.
Yeah.
I gotta remember to bring my light back. I gotta find them. We've been, purging over here. I didn't purge my lights.
I
I
was
put
like,
that
you
timer
can't
in.
purge the light.
No. They're just like I put them somewhere and I have to find them.
All right. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of the Best Women's Boxing Show. Period. See you guys at the fights. Bye, guys.